Parashat ki tse-insights on this parsha. The first pasuk I'd like to talk about is the first pasuk in the parsha, ki tse mi'avecha v'natano Hashem elokecha beyadecha v'shavita shavyo. So this the Zohar and other mafarshim on the Torah say that this war that is being talked about here is mainly the war that we have with our Yetzer Hara. And the Gemara says in Masechet Sukkah that the Yetzer Hara is mitgaber every day. He can gain strength, and he tries to push the person into doing averot, and if Hashem doesn't help him, he would not be able to overcome it. So we have a formidable enemy, and we need to know how to conquer it. So the Torah here tells us that the main thing to do is, in order to get the siyata d'shmaya, is to take the decision to fight. And once a person takes the decision to fight and puts it into action, then he'll get the siyata d'shmaya, that in order to conquer his Yetzer Hara. And not only that, but also he will shavita shavyo, which means he will be able to take back from the Yetzer Hara the previous the sins that the Yetzer Hara was able to make him do in previous battles, and through tshuva he can change these averot into either from mezi to shogeg, or even to zchuyot, depending if he does the tshuva from yira or from ahava. Second pasuk talks about yafat to'ar, and it says like this: V'ra'ita b'shivya eshet yafat to'ar, v'chashakta ba v'lakachtecha lecha leisha. And Rashi says that lo dibra Torah ela כנגד יצר הרע, שאם אין הקדוש ברוך הוא מתירה, יישאנה באיסור. So here we have a prohibition that we see. The Gemara says that if a person mates with a goya, kanaim pogim bo. So l'chora it's a chamur prohibition, and yet the Torah allows him to do it, gives him the opportunity to do it. And the question is, why should we allow him? So the answer that I heard is that in His great mercy, Hashem didn't want that when a person does this avera, then he would get a self-image of an avaryan for himself and to others, and then that would lead him to commit other averot, and maybe even to leave the derech of the Torah altogether. So Hashem didn't want that, and therefore He allowed him to do it beheter. Moreover, we see Rabbi Cheskel Abramsky learns from this pasuk that a person should know that any prohibition or mitzvah or any challenges that are thrown in his life, on his way in his life, we should know that he has the capability of withstanding the challenges and not committing the prohibitions. And we see this from this pasuk, because here the Torah understood that the person does not have the capability to withstand this challenge, and therefore the Torah allowed it. Which means any other place, any other challenge, the person does have the capability, if he wants to fight and to conquer. Okay, the next pasuk I'd like to talk about is in pasuk Chaf Aleph, and that talks about Pasuk says, Ki yeh be'ish chet mishpat mavet, v'humat v'tarita oto ala etz. So the Gra asks two questions on this pasuk. Here we're talking about somebody who did an avera for which he's chayav mitat beit din, capital punishment. So why does it say chet? Chet usually is shogeg. That's question one. Question two is why does it say ki yeh beish? Why just not say if a person ki yaseh adam? So he answers that this pasuk is talking about somebody who after the maisa that he did, even though he did it b'mezid, he has full charata on it, and he's chozeh b'tshuva, complete tshuva, and now his tshuva causes his mezid to turn into a shogeg, and yet that doesn't matter because in any case the Beit Din has to carry out his punishment and to kill him. It does not help that his tshuva doesn't help here. Unlike a person who is over chiyuv karet, if he does tshuva, then he can get mechila for it. The mitzvah after that is in Perek Chabet, Pasuk Aleph, right? There, the Torah says that Torah talks about the mitzvah of Shiluch HaKen, right? The Gra tells us that there are two mitzvot, and the pasuk tells us over here. I don't find it now. In the meantime, the two mitzvot that give arichot yamim as a reward to the person. One of them is shiluch haken, and one of them is kibud avim. And the Gra says that the reason why a person gets arichot yamim because of these. Because these two mitzvot bring him to a perfection of his character, of his nefesh. And how does he do that? Because he takes a midah, one of the midot, which is rachamim, and he takes both. He's able, in order to fulfill the will of Hashem, he is able to do both sides, both extremes of the midah. In other words, rachamim and achzariyut. By kibud avim, he exercises rachamim, and by the mitzvah of shiluch haken, he exercises the mitzvah of achzariyut. And how do we see that? Because the Yerushalmi says that the mother bird, when she sees that her chicks are being taken away from the great sorrow that she has, she goes and she drowns herself. So by being able to exercise both sides of the midah, a person gets a perfection, and that's how he gets arichut yamim. In Perek Chav Daled, Pasuk Aleph, the Torah talks about a person divorcing his wife. Right? It says, Ki yikach ish isha u'ba'ala v'ayem letumtzachem be'einav ki matza ba'evad davar v'katav la'sefer kitut u'natan be'yada. So the word that we use for the document that the man gives his wife is called a get. And the Mepharshim say that the get is because the minhag is to write this document of 12 lines. So the gematria of get, gimel and tet, is 12, and that's why it's called a get. But the question is, why not use other two letters that you get a gematria of 12? Why dafka get? So the Gra says that if you look through all of Tanakh, you'll never find these two letters together. And that's why this document of divorce is called get. Rav Chaim Kanievsky gives a different reason. He says that if you look at the letters Gimel and Tet, the letters around Gimel are Bet and Dalet, and the letters of Tet is Chet and Yud, and together they spell Beyachad. So that's why a get, it's called a get because it separates the Beyachad. Thank you for listening.